My name is Rafaela. I'm 19 years old and I live in São Paulo, Brazil. And I'm at college now. I'm studying marketing and advertising. And I think that's it. I'm that's it.
Thank you so much. I think Sujani has just joined, and let me check her.
Okay.
It's so good to see you again. I've been following all that you have done during this year and the other years, of course.
Oh,
But the wonderful job that you do with your students, I really congratulate you for all of that, because it's so important to keep the kids, I call them kids, even if they're 16, 17, but keep them always aware that they are part of a global village, no?
yeah. Absolutely thankful, Sujani, for your kind words. So I will continue to do it in future also because I am so passionate about doing these things. And I am also
Yes.
thankful to many teachers across the globe. And so you are also one of them. I'm so thankful to
Yeah.
you for your kind cooperation, in fact. So thank you
Oh,
so
thank you very much. And it's very little, but it's from the deep of the heart.
yeah, thank you so much for
Yeah.
Okay.
joining. And now I
Yeah.
request one of my students to interact with your lovely student, Nandakishore. Over to you.
Yes. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you. My name is
Yes, I
Nandikishore.
hope.
My name is
y-
Nandikishore, a ninth grader from JPHS Salavaram. My question is, what kind of professions do women in Brazil opt mostly? Which is your favorite?
Okay,
I
so
think
I
that's my
believe this question
question.
is Rafaela, no?
Yes,
Rafaela?
I
Yeah.
can answer. Yes. So here in Brazil, women commonly pursue professions in fields such as education, healthcare, and public administration. Like teaching, nursing, and medicine are among the most popular career choices. Additionally, many women work in sectors like retail, social services, and communication. In recent years, there has been a growing presence of women also in technology, engineering, and entrepreneurship, although these fields are still male dominated. The choice of professional often reflects traditional gender roles, but increasing opportunities and support women in various sectors are gradually reshaping the workforce. And my favorite one is in communication because it's what I'm studying now.
Great answer. Thank you so much.
Hello, Sister Rafaela. How are you today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. This is Dikshit, the ninth grader from JPHS Salavaram. It's my honor to ask you a question. Can I?
Yes, of course, please.
What challenges do face in Brazilian job market, and what initiatives are in place to address these challenges?
Okay. So here in Brazil, women still face a significant challenges in the job market, including like a gender pay gap, underrepresentation in leadership roles, and the burden of unpaid domestic work. So we also still have like discrimination in hiring, limited access to education, and professional training, especially for Black and Indigenous women. But to address these issues, Brazil has implemented initiatives such as affirmative action policies, diversity quotas, and also leadership programs. Additionally, many companies are adopting flexible work arrangements and promoting campaigns and corporate diversity programs. So while this process has been made, achieving full gender equality in the workforce requires ongoing effort from both public and also private sectors.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Mhm.
My name is Satvik. My question is, what is the role of English language in this world? How do you improve your English language skills?
Okay. So I think that like in the past, English, like a person knowing English and all, it used to be like an upgrade that you had. But nowadays, English is almost like a basic thing that you need to know, especially like in my area that I'm studying, that is marketing and all. We have a lot of words, like specific words that are in English, and we don't have like the translation to Portuguese. So English has an important role in this area because it's like a significant part that we need to know to if you want to improve and evolve in your career. And like I said, I like to improve my English. I do classes every week and all, but I really like to listen to music because I think we can learn a lot about pronunciation and all. And it's like a funny way to do. And I also like to watch like movies in English without the subtitle to to improve the listening and all.
Morning.
So,
Sujani.
hello, how are you?
I am fine, ma'am. Good morning, Sujani
Great.
madam. I am studying. My name is Gayatri Salvi. I am studying 7th grade. Can I ask one question, ma'am? What are the most common career paths for women in Brazil, and how have they evolved over the past decades?
Yes, I decided to answer this question because, I'm already a retired, not kind of retired, I should have retired entirely, but I love teaching. So I have lived these past 40 years. So if we go to literature, like today we have artificial intelligence, that we have the chatbots and everything that will help us find data to talk about the past. I was most amazed that even searching this data, there is not much about women. And so I think that especially from about women in our underdeveloped countries, like Brazil. So, but living that time, I can say that it has evolved a lot because back in the 70s, women could only opt to like nursing, teaching, or domestic work. They weren't allowed to go to the other fields, not allowed, practically not allowed. And through the times back, if you go already to the 2000s, with especially technology improving, women started to gain more space in the workplace, in the companies, being able to have better careers. Because in the past, even to teach, women had to teach like basic subjects or only children. Because they couldn't be in the area of mathematics and things like this. So I would say that it has evolved a lot. And today we see women in the market is a challenge, but we see women, especially in the STEM market that we call the science, technology, engineering, mathematics, media, especially in India. We see a lot of women in this area. I congratulate them a lot. And I think we have to continue always fighting for our rights and improving our lives. Okay?
My question is,
Yes.
now you have retired from your services. So during the period of your service as an active teacher, so
Yes.
have you found any student that has made a significant impact on you? So
Yes.
yeah, could you please share if you have?
Yes, I have had, and I have had the opportunity, Hari, because I've been thinking a lot about this because this past year I'm writing a book, and it's a
Oh,
book about my life.
wow, that's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, it's really good. So I had to revisit my past and see, because Rafaela is a great example.
Yes.
Rafaela, when we started studying, she had a very, very basic English, and today she speaks like almost a native person. But I
Absolutely.
have a couple of students from it was like an NGO that I followed, and I participated in the work. especially of what we call native Brazilians, or let's say the Black people. You don't know what name to use because of this politically correct, But so I worked with these people. They had finished high school. They were going to study in a university that was directed more to this community. But they had very low English background and things, so it would be very hard for them to follow a business career without English. So I mounted this program that they had classes on Saturday. It was the whole day, every Saturday, all day long. And I must say that until today, this was like about 10 years ago, and I have contact with many of them that their life changed completely because they had this input of English. When they were able to get a better job, and were able to do things like watch a movie, without having to look at the subtitles or even read the news from international newspapers. So I have a lot of examples, but my heart goes for Rafaela always. she was a great, and she's an example because there are other hardworking kids, luckily, but I think her generation is still one of the ones that the women especially want to go after. They want to conquer something. I believe that in India it's the same. Women and women are capable. Sometimes they can't because they have their domestic things to see, the children and all, but they go for it, no?
You to become a teacher. I think there must be a teacher or someone who influenced you to become a teacher.
Yes, especially, I'm just going to open up a little bit. As I said, I'm writing a book. I don't come originally from the education academic world. I graduated first as a dentist. So originally, I am a dentist, right? But what happens is that I graduated and I wasn't that happy dentist. It was something that was not complimenting me because I knew that I wanted to listen to people. And dentists can't listen to people because you need to, you're in their mouth and they can't talk.
Yes.
So eventually I went getting so frustrated. And a friend of my mom's at the time, she worked as a teacher, and I was talking to her one day, and then she said, "Come and watch one of my classes." And her name is Anne, but it wasn't Anne that inspired me. Anne is like my mom's name too. But when I went to that class, I said, "No, this is what I want to do. I want to pass on something." So, and then my greatest inspiration is, you probably have heard of him. He's a writer, a great personality in Brazil, that is Paulo Freire.
Mm-hmm.
So Paulo Freire, I can send you his bio after.
Please,
he was a great inspiration here in Brazil because he created even a alphabetization that would be more directed to the poor people in this country, because the poor people in this country are the majority. So it was like pedagogy to the most number of people. So I just fell in love with him, and that's what led me to go and study pedagogy, because English I could speak, but I needed pedagogy, how to reach people, no? And through Paulo Freire, he's known, and I think he has many books that have already been translated. He has long passed away, but through him, I got to meet other people that were inspiring, no? As a teacher in my pedagogy course, Eliana Amaral, that she had all this dedication, especially to the people that needed mostly, and especially in English, because English is not accessible in this country to poor people. You have to have money to do an English course. There are not many free English courses in the schools. The English are not so good. So that was my inspiration. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much for giving us
Rafaela now. Yeah.
Yes.
So Rafaela, I'm asking similar questions. at the school, I think you might have seen many teachers, many educators. But
Yes.
maybe a few teachers you can find, you can pick it up. Yes, this teacher is definitely influenced me. And this
Mm-hmm.
teacher particularly reason for what I am today. And I can proudly say that one teacher at my school time, a school age, influenced me. That's why today I am an English teacher. So I always remember him. I always memorize him, and I always cherish the time when I had the time with him. And sometimes I feel emotional to memorize that particular teacher. So that kind of bondage, emotional attachment we have that with the teacher
Mm-hmm.
that we love so much. So could you please tell us undoubtedly your influence teacher? And who is she and who is he? And could you please tell us about?
Okay. So I'm lucky, I think, because especially in school and all, I had a lot of great teachers and they were very like good and not just in the teaching and all, but also like we are friends and all. But I think that's one that was a teacher uh for history. And I think he inspired me a lot because while he was teaching and all, we could see like the her eyes and her happiness to teach us. And I really like history and all. I'm doing like communication, so I like to
Mhm.
speak a lot and all. And I think like knowing all this evolution of people and communication and all has inspired me. And also because in his class, we used to do a lot of presentations. And while in these presentations and all, I always like to speak and talk about what I knew and all. And he always said to me that I was doing great, and I think this inspired me a lot.
Thank you so much. And I have a last question for you. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
at the time when I was at school, I think we didn't have phones. We didn't even
Mm-hmm.
imagine about the mobile phones in those times.
Yes.
And so the distractions were very, very less at the time. So
Mm-hmm.
we used to go to movies and we used to spend our time in the libraries. But today,
Mm-hmm.
your generation, and you have the accessibility of the mobile phones, smartphones particularly. So they are the,
Yes.
for some students, they consume your valuable time. Most of the
Mm-hmm.
students here in this region, in this part of India, most they are trying to pass their time by clicking their selfies and by watching the reels and so many other unnecessary stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
in this generation, you have many distractions from outside world, especially the mobile phones. So, what do you say about these outside distractions? How should we control? I mean, how should you control as a young generation from these distractions?
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to focus on your career when the situation is around like this?
Yeah, I think these distractions are very hard because, like you said, is in our hand every time, and with just one click, we can do whatever we want. So, but it's hard because, like in college, in school, I didn't use it like so much. The mobile phone was most of the computer and all, but it was like all together and with the teacher and all. But like now in college, it's more we use more the mobile phone, but we also do like researches and all. We take notes, so it's hard to the distractions are hard. But what I try to do, like there are people in my class, they use like the mobile or their computer or their iPad to take notes for the class and all. And my way to refuse these distractions I really like the paper. I write down all in a paper, the books and all, because I think when we are with the mobile and they keep like the notifications and all, it's very hard. So every day I just take my notebook and then I put my mobile like in my bag, and I really don't look, because if I look just for a little, I want to look more and more, and this is getting like very hard.
Before we wind the session, may I request you to give a message to my students?
Yes, it's always great to talk to your students. And the message that I would like to give, Patty, is all about this. Even when we're talking about this session was about women, but I want it to be about women and about men, people, human beings, no? And as we know, you are involved with the English language as myself, and we know that in this diversified world, how much we need this language. And more, I don't know if you have been following younger generations, especially in developed countries. I don't know why they call developed, because sometimes they have an undeveloped behavior, right? But
Absolutely.
they have now even started defining another language, you know, the alpha generation, where they don't want to use gender. So that worries me, because they're creating another language, you know. So what I'd say to your students is to keep really working hard on the English, not because it's a grade to pass or something like this. It's like an opening to their future, something that will help them in their future. And that's to not only to women, to the men too.
It is time for Rafaela to give a message to my students, especially in the context of English language.
Yes, of course. So first, like I said in the beginning, it's a pleasure for me to be here with you today. And my message is that when we start to learn English and do these classes, it seems like a lot of things. It seems that we are like never finished and all. But my message is that if you do like little by little, day by day, you are doing like little things and doing regular, you can get what you want, and you can embrace all the opportunities that there are for you if you do this little by little and know English. So my message is about not stopping, and also not to feel like afraid and no.
Thank you so much for your valuable message.